Welcome back to Dear Cave Woman. I'm going to read chapter 1 of my book. In the first podcast, I read the introduction, which was very brief. Chapter 1 will be longer. I'll read the beginning of the novel before Sylvia and Cave Woman meet. Well, actually, it does contain the very beginning of their letter-writing friendship. If you prefer the Dear Cave Woman chapters, the next few recordings will be Dear Cave Woman letters. And let me know if you have a question for Cave Woman. The contact info will be in the description. Chapter 1, Frozen North. We live in a cave inside a cave. My boyfriend Cole and I live in the basement apartment, caretaking a ski home in exchange for free rent. The house sits up against a mountain, hidden from the sun 7 months a year. We also both work second jobs with demanding clients which consumed our lives. We only meant to stay a year, 2 at most. 10 years later, we're finally leaving for good. Disentangling ourselves from multiple jobs left us parting for more than we'd anticipated. We're moving to Haiti for a new job that can make a big difference in people's lives. I'm so excited about our new adventure I can't sleep, but I rarely sleep on nights I don't drink. Dawn marks a clean start, and I've decided to quit drinking once and for all. I've made the decision many times before, but I know starting a whole new life will give me the impetus to make quitting stick. I hate winter, I don't ski, and I'm anxious to leave. I'm worried a lot lately. I'm anxious to leave this town. I look at the clock, 4 a.m., I'm ready to go. So I nudge Cole with my foot a few times to wake him up. "Are you awake?" I whisper loudly. "I think so," Cole says with his eyes still closed. "I'm going to shower now. Can we leave once I'm ready?" "Might as well," he concedes. Cole and I finished packing the car last night. We put our belongings in storage and pared down to 2 bags each. We take showers and put the last remaining suitcase in the car. With Cole's precious coffee maker in storage, we stop at a convenience store, coffee for Cole and tea for me. Back in the car, we drive into a wavering west wind. Dark snow clouds cap the steep, black mountains like a freezer jammed with frost. One regret chases me. If we drive quickly enough, maybe I can shake it loose. I just need to keep going and concentrate on a more useful future. On top of our caretaking duties, I worked as a marketing researcher and then drank to relax and forget about work in the evening. As a caretaker for several homes in the area, Cole was permanently on call. We rarely left town. Cole turns off his cell phone and ceremoniously tosses it in the back seat. He whistles and I cheer. The sky lightens and I want to feel free, but I don't. For a moment, my one regret makes me want to turn around. My chest grows hot with worry, and I wonder if karma is real. I almost say out loud I have to go back. Instead, I stifle the thought by pushing my hand against my mouth. I made a painful sacrifice, but I'll work hard to help people and make it all worthwhile. We'd always wanted to make a difference in the world, and we're grabbing our chance, maybe the only one we'll ever have. We'll stay in Phoenix for a month or so, coordinate with our contacts, and await the final plans for our trip. We picked Phoenix because of the warm weather and because a friend told us we could find a month-to-month rental if we needed to stay longer than our budget allowed for a hotel. We'll leave our car at our friend's house. Cole will need to finish his coffee before he can talk. I turn on the radio, but the news story annoys me, so I turn it off. Driving away feels like our rocket has launched and we've not yet reached the smooth edge beyond Earth's orbit. I just have to hold on and endure the uncertainty until new possibilities become real. I feel vacant without the sound of the radio and turn the news back on. Light snow begins to fall and wind forms the snow into white snakes that slither along the highway. I hope the storm doesn't become a full-blown blizzard before we turn south and away from winter forever. I'll feel better once we're in a warmer climate. Gravity. 4 hours later, we notice a large black bag by the side of the road. We slow down and look in shock at a body bag. A metal zipper with large teeth runs along the top. What looked like tall, dried grass near the bag forms into a human arm sticking straight up, pale and unmoving. My stomach does a backflip and I grab Cole's arm to steady myself. We look at each other in disbelief. Cole begins to slow down and pull over. "Don't stop, it might be a trap," I say. "Sil, we have to stop." I know, but not here," I say quickly. He shakes his head slightly at my paranoia, but keeps going. Cole, raised in a large Catholic family in a polite small town, remains trusting and self-sacrificing. A 10-year stint in New York City left me suspicious and wary, despite a childhood in the naive suburbs. We note the mile marker and veer into a gravel pullout, and Cole calls the police. They don't seem to believe Cole, and he has to repeat himself several times. I keep a keen eye on the rearview mirror. As we pull away, I shudder and say, "Holy crap, what the hell?" This isn't the smooth liftoff I'd envisioned. How in the world? Cole shakes his head and looks at me for an answer. I can't begin to imagine how a body in a body bag ends up by the side of a highway. I really can't, I say. Cole picks up where I left off, and with an arm sticking out. I can't even think of a joke. Cole's soft-spoken nature hides a brilliant and quick wit if you listen closely. A quiet, eerie gravity replaces the elation of leaving the long winters and long work hours. I rummage through the back seat for a book on CD. Dinosaur National Monument, next exit. Cole reads on a sign and starts to slow down. Want to take a look? I've wanted to see the petroglyphs for years, I say. It'll add several hours of driving, but maybe it'll help get the body bag off our minds, Cole offers. Maybe, I answer. We'll have to get a hotel closer to the one we reserved in Arizona for tonight. Okay, want me to cancel our reservation? Yeah, change it to tomorrow. Let's take our time, stop and look at rocks and stuff. Good idea, I say cheerfully, and pull my phone from the console. Still, I can't help wondering if the body bag portends a bad omen or highlights the nagging regret I feel. If it's both, I might as well throw myself off a cliff. Short, windy hike. About 2 hours later, we turn off the highway and follow the signs to the petroglyphs. The high desert spreads endlessly, stippled with red mesas, like a painting but without mountains crowding every square inch. The first petroglyphs aren't too far off the highway and only a short walk from the parking area. I'm relieved. Since deciding to stop drinking for a new adventure, I'm feeling unsteady, and I'm not up for a long hike. Despite my fresh start, I'm still wobbly and shaky. On the short, windy hike, the rocks in my stomach multiply and pile up in my chest, increasing my anxiety. I'm afraid it'll get worse and my worry will spread to Cole. I need to stay upbeat. I decide to drink tonight, instantly feel better. Alcohol will keep doubts at bay. A tiny thrill replaces the dread in my stomach and my pace picks up. Cole points out big cat tracks alongside the trail. They're fresh, he says. A chill ripples down my back. Do you think it's still around? I wouldn't be surprised if it was watching us right now, Cole says, and I don't know if he's joking or not. I'd rather be food for a mountain lion than end up in a body bag by the side of the road. At least I'd provide a meal, I say. I'd come pre-marinated in wine, I joke to myself. We walk on, listening to the stubborn wind sweep the canyons clean. I scan the terrain for wild, hungry cats. Cole stops and points to a drawing, etched in the burnt umber rock face just above us. I would have passed by the subtle stone carving and not noticed anything. We scrabble up the slight incline to get closer, and I lean my knees against a boulder just below the drawing. Much more prominent than the other figures, the woman carved in the center seems to be decked out in ceremonial garb. I wonder if she's a goddess or a real person, a leader, or someone's beloved mother, like my beloved mom. One hand reaches into a swirl surrounded by short rays, an image I've doodled in notebooks many times. I want to understand, to comprehend the significance. I wonder if they sell wine at gas stations in Utah. I might need to find a liquor store. My focus shifts, and for a moment she's looking right at me, eye to eye. I wait for a bolt of lightning insight, but nothing comes, and instead I feel numb. The disconnect irritates me. A cold wind kicks up the loose soil, and Cole and I both wipe the nippy dirt from our faces. Nausea blankets me in a dizzying wave. I hold my face in my hands to steady myself. The tall red rocks have captured the sun's heat, so I touch my cheek and hands to the boulder and absorb the warmth. I imagine ancient artists standing here, and I hear faint voices, muffled and indistinct, like the voices I heard as a kid during a high fever. My eardrums vibrate like a bass guitar. I can't make out a single word. I shiver. I feel a panic attack approaching, so I sink cross-legged to the dirt. I pick up a few small rocks so Cole thinks I'm looking for fossils. My face grows numb and my eyes follow an invisible swirl. I shut my eyes to stop the motion. I feel like my soul is slowly giving up on me and sneaking away through the top of my head. I don't want Cole to think I'm having a panic attack, so I keep combing through rocks. A thought or a notion starts to form, something I'm not sure I want to know. So I hold my breath and only take tiny sips of air. I scratch HELP into the tan, hard-packed dirt, which I quickly erase so Cole won't think I've lost my mind. I'm cold, I complain to Cole. I don't linger. In nature, in museums, in restaurants, once I'm done, I'm ready to leave. We just got here, Cole repeats, probably for the 10,000th time since we first met. He could linger in canyons, deserts, or forests and explore for hours. 15 minutes, I offer in what feels like a compromise. We'll go see more petroglyphs, okay? Okay, he says and shrugs. Go ahead without me. I stay in the car at our next stop as Cole wanders the lonely canyons. I find the audiobook under the front seat and turn on the car periodically to keep the battery charged. I hate silence. Cole finally returns. We head out and stop at a gas station just outside Dinosaur National Monument. I buy a notebook with a cartoon dinosaur on the cover. To appease my cravings for alcohol until we stop for the night, I buy a soda and a big bag of potato chips. After we find a hotel, I can look for a proper liquor store to stock up for the evening. At 7:20 p.m., we pull into yet another Western-themed tourist town and look for a motel. Since I decided to drink at the petroglyphs, the impatience turned my neck and shoulders to stone. To help pass the time, we rattled off Western decor we will not miss, like neon cowboys, neon cowboy boots, neon dancing cowgirls, hitching posts, antler chandeliers, and all the wooden bears and noble Native Americans that seem more like the spoils of genocide than honorific. There isn't much traffic, and we find a motel conveniently located next to a liquor store and a bar. Being on call all the time, Cole couldn't even have a beer. He's eager to sit on a bar stool again, so I tell him to go ahead without me. I don't drink in bars anymore. I find the service too slow. Cole leaves, and I settle in with my boxed wine and the remote control. I can breathe again. Leave the water. Early the next morning, we check out of the motel, pack the car, and drive to a nearby diner. Cole and I enjoy the comforting diner food, perfect for treating a hangover. We pass a plastic bag filled with aspirin over our eggs, toast, and a large plate loaded with hash browns. I keep asking the waiter for more refills, and after my third ask, he leaves a pitcher. Cole fills me in on the local characters he met at the bar last night. I feel like a dried-up sponge, and my stomach drops a few feet when I remember my promise to quit drinking. We don't mention my drinking. I want to ram the butter knife through my thick skull, but I drink more ice water to swallow the thought. I'll feel better once we get moving again, and I make a private vow never to drink again. I never made a vow before. Maybe that'll help. I jump as the cash register drawer slams shut and a few plates crash to the floor in the kitchen. I scowl at the bright lights. I feel dizzy but smile at Cole. We get back on the road as soon as we pay the restaurant bill. I dig around my backpack for an antacid and find the notebook I bought yesterday. I open to the first page, and in small, red, handwritten letters it says, "I can help." I wish I'd noticed this yesterday. Why didn't I look? Why didn't I get two? Why did I drink again? Do I even have a pen? I look around and find a pen on the floor and decide to write, "I can help." I write a question with my right hand and answer with my left hand, a technique I read in a magazine. Dear I can help. There's no way I can stop drinking. I've tried 1,000 times. Then consider 1,001 your lucky number. You're curious already. It'll be fun. Fun? Are you out of your mind or just annoying? Luckily, I am out of my mind. You could be out of your mind too. Being out of your mind is freeing. Your cheerfulness gives me a headache. Please stop. I challenge I can help with more skepticism. I keep getting jolly responses, which annoys me further. I can help insists I can quit drinking. I vigorously disagree until the road drops and the view catches my attention. The road turns and dips through rock formations and along mesas that jut abruptly from the flat desert floor, like guitar solos thrown into a Bach concerto. I feel like we're driving on another planet, and I enjoy the newness. Our hotel for the night is on an Indian reservation. Panic floods my stomach when I remember it's a dry reservation. No alcohol allowed. At the next gas station, I slip into the liquor store next door and buy more wine. I sneak the wine into my duffel bag while Cole buys a few hot dogs. I feel guilty and relieved. I'm so tragically predictable, like an elephant without a memory. A typical day of swearing I'll never do something I inevitably end up doing. I zip up my duffel bag and carry it through the lobby. The clerk invites us to an event in the lobby that night, and I don't meet his eyes. Cole says something I can't hear. I feel guilty about smuggling in the wine and walk over to the elevator while Cole finishes checking in.